Donald Trump is losing his mind over what the judge presiding over his hush money case did, and I have the breaking story and all the meltdown details for you next. The case stems from the $130,000 payment Trump made to Stormy Daniels, money prosecutors say was meant to buy the silence of the adult entertainer to cover up their Randy rendezvous in Lake Tahoe. But as you know, she had loose lips, Donald was exposed, and it remains an affair to be remembered. But just in case you don't remember all the details, because Trump has so many scandals under his belt, here's a 1-minute report from the Associated Press that is a great primer to get you back up to speed. And on the other side, I'll have Trump's unhinged reaction to the judge's most recent ruling.
A New York judge upheld Donald Trump's hush money conviction, ruling that Trump will be sentenced on January 10th. That's just 10 days before Trump is to be sworn in as president. Now, Trump had asked Judge Juan Merchan to dismiss the case and throw out the conviction entirely. Trump argued that because he was elected in November and is about to become president again, he couldn't have the weight of a conviction interfering potentially with his ability to govern the country. And of course, this was a felony conviction, so there was the possibility of jail time as a potential sentence. Justice Merchan, in his ruling, says he is not going to sentence Trump to jail. The case is over. The conviction stands. There is a historical footnote attached with this conviction being upheld. He will be the first person sworn in as president with a criminal conviction on his record. And this may set up more legal fights. And that could be playing in the background while Trump is running the country.
Before I show you Trump's reaction, I want you to see one more clip. It's an analysis from Paula Reed that shows just how easy the judge went on Trump, which makes Trump's ranting all the more comical and egregious.
Just moments ago from the judge, Paula.
But here in this new opinion, Jake, the judge makes it clear that President-elect Trump will not face any penalties after being convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. Now, again, that sentencing is scheduled for January 10th, but it will mostly be performative. Here in this lengthy opinion today, the judge makes it clear that even though he has the option to potentially assign a prison sentence here, he does not believe that is, quote, proper. He said that at this point, he usually doesn't give a preview of what he's going to do at sentencing, but he believes the best thing to do is what is called an unconditional discharge. So there will be no punishment and no penalty applied to the president-elect here. And the judge goes on to say that he agrees with the defendant's concerns about, quote, the mental and physical demands during the current transition, as well as guidance at the federal level about the extent to which you can have legal action against a sitting president, how that applies to a president-elect. And therefore, he says he is going to allow him to appear virtually so he can continue to do his work as president-elect. So yes, the headline is that he is going to be sentenced. President-elect Trump will be sentenced on January 10th, but the judge has already previewed that there will be no penalties for President-elect Donald Trump.
So that was pretty good news for a very guilty Trump, and there's no way he would play the victim card, lash out at all parties involved and some not involved, and go on about a conspiracy, right? Wrong. He went on Truth Social and unleashed a 4-part dumpster fire of deranged thoughts. One was so goofy, it even had an MSNBC panel laughing out loud. Part 1 said, among other things, every legal scholar and many others have unequivocally stated that the Manhattan DA's witch hunt is a non-existent case, which is not only barred by the statute of limitations, but on the merits should never have been brought. This illegitimate political attack is nothing but a rigged charade. Acting Justice Merchan, who is a radical partisan, just issued another order that is knowingly unlawful, goes against our Constitution, and if allowed to stand, would be the end of the presidency as we know it. A bit dramatic, but let's continue with part 2. Merchan has so little respect for the Constitution that he is keeping in place an illegal gag order on me, your president and president-elect, just so I cannot expose his and his family's disqualifying and illegal conflicts. I am the only political opponent in American history not allowed to defend myself, a despicable First Amendment violation. A gag order on Donald Trump? Where can I send Judge Merchan a Starbucks gift card as a thank you? The unfocused Trump continued with, among other things, Mershon, who is far worse and even more corrupt than Smith in his fight for my hopeless political opponents, just cannot let go of this charade. Is it because of his conflicts and relations that he keeps breaking the law? This has to stop. It is time to end the lawfare once and for all, so we can come together as one nation and make America great again. Who is the one who can't let go? And who now claims to be the man who wants to bring the nation together? The next day, delusional Donnie continued with, among other things, I never falsified business records. It is a fake, made-up charge by a corrupt judge who is just doing the work of the Biden-Harris Injustice Department. An attack on their political opponent, me. The accountant testified that the records were perfect and totally above board. A legal expense was called, on the books, a legal expense. There was nothing else it could have been called. This was the so-called falsifying of records. I was hiding nothing. Everything was out in the open for all to see. Did he just say that a check to Stormy Daniels was a legal expense? Now, I'm no legal expert, but I definitely think there's something else it can be called. And finally, the next post is the one that had MSNBC commentators in stitches. I'm losing my voice over this.
The president-elect is up this morning, and he has thoughts on his social media site. He is not happy about this.
He's not happy.
There's never been a president who was so evilly and illegally treated as I. Corrupt Democrat judges and prosecutors have gone against the political opponent of a president, me, at levels.
Just in case it wasn't clear.
Just to be clear, me, I'm the president. Wow.
Donald Trump is a lawless lunatic whose superpower is evading real prosecution and penalties for his criminal activities. He has repeatedly demonstrated a remarkable ability to operate outside the bounds of legal and ethical norms and has an uncanny knack for evading genuine accountability. And his claim of being a victim isn't just crazy talk. It's a calculated strategy that feeds into his narrative of persecution. Trump's ability to beat the system and get away with criminal activity is something he wears as a badge of honor, and it resonates with the base. He once suggested that he should be added to Mount Rushmore, but I think that's a bit audacious. Instead, I think his face belongs next to the other anti-heroes that we know he worships because he talks about them so much: Al Capone, Vladimir Putin, and Hannibal Lecter.